It is a beautiful sunset and I'm inside Makerere University, Kampala, Uganda. This video almost did not happen, but I remember it's the 1st of January 2026, the new year. And what better place to begin our story other than inside Makerere University? And this is the Chinese Conspicuous Institute, Makerere University, a cultural enterprise by the Chinese government to extend their language across the world. And they are partnering with universities to hold such institution. And what better university to do such a collaboration with other than Makerere in Uganda, the premier university in all over Africa, having brought up very many influential African leaders, including presidents from Julius Nyerere of Tanzania to Mwai Kibaki of Kenya and Milton Obote of Uganda. All those have been on this hill. Anyway, today our journey, wow, beautiful sunset indeed, beautiful sunset, breathtaking, both due to the hill and the beautiful nature that surrounds it. And we are at the heart of this institution, so I thought it should be a good day to just take you around from the center of the university and exit through the main gate to give you a glimpse of how 2026 has begun in Uganda. And today my journey starts right here on Quarry Road. That's because historically there was a quarry right down there that built most of the sound foundations of Makerere University. And right in front of us, as I gather my breath, is physics department, but I can't really gather my breath because in itself it's breathtaking. And this is a very interesting establishment, and it's one of those first departments that constituted the early days of this Makerere University, and it's actually a part of the natural sciences. Basically, a physical department is part of the School of Physical Sciences, which traces its roots back to the early days of Makerere University. And in 2011, when Makerere University was organized, it became part of the College of Natural Sciences, which includes this and the building right over there. We are not going to take that route. In case you missed any of our videos, there is a video titled Africa's Harvard. You'll surely actually find that there. So look for that video. And now this is the beauty, and I like the choice of colors. And this structure is actually quite old. And this is the western side of Makerere University. The sun is setting as you see it, and it's setting right behind the building that you see right here, which is the College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology. The old building is the other. This one saw light in 2008, and this college was formed in 2011 by merging the Faculty of Technology, that old structure which housed it, which was in itself established in 1970, and the Margaret Trowell School of Industrial and Fine Arts, MT-CIFA. Surprisingly, Margaret Trowell, for it, was founded way back in 1937. And Makerere University is looking beautiful on this day, and this is one of those early days of the year. In fact, today is the first day of the year, and as such we have found ourselves embarking on the Mary Stuart Road. This is Mary Stuart Road, so towards the end of this road, as it starts curving to the left, you will find Mary Stuart Hall, and that is soon coming up in just a bit. I'll tell you a little more of it. Anyway, this structure I think is a mechanical workshop or garage where most of, I think, Makerere's items are repaired. I see Makerere is coming up with new projects. I believe this is an infrastructure development whose nameplate is not yet there, but this is Manfields Road, leads you to the Makerere Western Gate, which borders the suburbs of Makerere, Chikoni, and in the distance where I see the trees, Kasubi Hill, one of royal significance. I shall bring you a video about that yet soon. Now, more of the College of Natural Sciences. We saw this building from the northern side, and now we see it from here, but it's almost to the quadrangle. College of Natural Science, which constituted the physics department, and now this structure is the chemistry department. And for some reason, it is operated on 2 blocks. But first, Mary Stuart Road is actually named after Mary Stuart, who was the wife of Bishop Cyril Stuart. She basically a pioneer of women's education in Uganda and an advocate for women to be admitted in Makerere. So I was still telling you about the Department of Chemistry. It has 2 magnificent structures that actually houses that department, and it's one of the oldest departments in this university, established in 1944. Yep, did you know that? And I think these stores must belong to them, probably to store gases and canisters that are used in chemistry practicals. And this was actually the Faculty of the Sciences, which has given birth to courses like engineering, medicine, and many more in that regard. It is actually strange how it is scattered out, unlike the College of Engineering, which you saw was basically 2 buildings, but that also stems in the fact that it's a college that had come way later, while the College of the Sciences or Faculty of the Sciences already existed. This right there in front that you see is their main building, which was donated by JICA, Japan International Cooperation Agency. More of the chemistry department building. It is a beauty to behold. So this route will take you to join University Road, which I believe is the main street of the university, and also will take you straight to the main gate. Let's stick to our Mary Stuart Road. Let's continue our journey. It is very delightful. I see a lot of acacia trees, and if you know about these acacia trees, please do let me know if they are indigenous or they were planted, because at least I know eucalyptus, much as they are hardwood trees, I think they are more artificially engineered, and these are mostly grown to provide straight lumber, mostly electric poles as you look at them. But lately, these poles within the university are simply being used to do security lighting, as opposed to transmitting the main power. Main power is now being transmitted by underground armored cables, and I think soon you'll see some of the substations or the transformer units in this video. And that structure that you see there, magnificent, is the College of Agriculture, one of the food security departments within the country, which is also a beauty to behold. I am really getting distracted by this sunset. It is really beautiful, and I like the trees within the university. Actually, if you've seen a number of our videos, you'll notice that when you're outside Makerere, this appears like forests with barely roofs to look at. Yeah, so they have really accommodated for trees, and some of these are actually staff quarters. Majority of them lecturers, and I think high ranking, because this looks a little premium. But there are a majority of those. I think Makerere University was supposed to be a self-sustaining institution. And we are still on Mary Stuart Road, and towards the end we shall see it. These eucalyptus, I believe I've seen them planted, I've seen them grow, and I am very surprised that if someone were to tell me to have invested in trees, I probably would have refused, but this is testimony that no time is too long. Better soon than later. Better sooner than later. Better sooner than later. It is actually a blessing. So I'm going to take a left turn because I have something important to really show you. And right here you see St. Francis, and right there you see St. Augustine. Now, this road that I'm taking up, I don't think it has a name, but if it does, I will remember it and I'll surely let you know. But I thought I should tell you about this structure. And this structure is actually St. Augustine Students Center. Anyway, It's called Chapel Road. It's called Chapel Road. What a simple name. What a simple name. And I believe this is the religious hub of this university. And in case you're wondering what's new about this, we'll get to that in a bit as I tell you the history. But what you see right here behind this fence is a school of forestry. I don't know whether it's a school or a department, but it's a school of forestry. I think we should have a signpost somewhere that might give us a better description of it. But let's not forget that we are in the religious center of Makerere University, College of Agriculture and Environmental Science. Oh, it's part of the College of Agriculture. Interesting. Research grants, ethics, blah 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 blah. Yeah, I knew it as School of Forestry. Yeah, I was right. In the distance you can see School of Forestry, Environmental and Geographical Sciences. So that's where you will find them. Now, I told you I would be giving you a bit of history about these areas, and right now in the distance what you're seeing, this is St. Augustine Chapel, and this was completed around 1941. It basically serves as the Catholic community on campus. Both chapels, this and St. Francis, were actually built during a significant architectural expansion by Principal George C. Turner. But what better thing to prove that it's a Catholic chapel than to show you this grotto where people come to, I don't know, if you're Catholic, please let me know. I've never understood this. Enlightened us. Anyway, if you're a member of the Catholic community, this is what you should know. Mass schedule on Sunday, 7 a.m., 9 a.m., 11 a.m., and 5 p.m. That is on Sunday, so you can't have reason not to pray. Monday to Friday, they have a 7 a.m., 1 p.m., and 6 p.m. On Saturday, 7 a.m. No 1 p.m. Mass during holidays. Confessions are after Mass, Monday to Saturday. So that's St. Augustine Chapel for you. And just to confirm that for you, let me bring for you that signage. Beautiful, right? Beautiful. This is more to reiterate what I've just read for you there as to Mass times. Little did I know this would bring me to the back end of the Makerere Ivory Tower. And if you do not know the Ivory Tower, then probably you don't know Makerere. This is basically their insignia, give or take. Once you see that, you know we are talking about Makerere. It is told that it was built to imitate the University of London, which it initially was affiliated when it started offering degree programs. So if you look at University of London, guys, first check it out and either agree or disagree with me. But now I'm approaching St. Francis, which should be the subject at this point as we traverse Chapel Road. Chapel Road ends in a massive parking lot. St. Augustine has, but looks small. St. Francis has, and it looks quite massive. Now, it's only right that I should tell you about St. Francis. I'll do that when I just get there, but let me first introduce their neighbors. That is the College of Social Sciences, Schools of Language. This is the St. Francis Student Center, and that's also part of St. Francis. But that's for another day. We actually have enough parking lot, so you have no reason to show up to church even if you're no longer a student. Anyway, this St. Francis Student Center, now chapel, was completed in 1942, and with the first service held in December 6, 1942. It basically serves as the Anglican and Protestant community center. But it also later saw expansion in 1963 to accommodate the growing student population. And also recently in the 2000s, it had the left wing and the right wing expanded. So it looks like it is likely to undergo continued expansion over the years. I like the plants and landscaping, and I can see some of the Christmas decoration lighting up on the trees. I do not know where these guys also did us justice by showcasing the times at which they tend to have services, but it's kind of hard to say. There's no such plaque, but I like to think they actually mirror the same thing as St. Augustine, having masses around the same time. That's to keep them involved. This looks like a desert plant, but kind of fits here perfectly, and I see more of them. Now, whoever knows this plant, please do let me know. Some beautiful landscaping. So, I'm impressed. But anyway, let's look in the distance. So there are two options of footpaths I could choose. I could pass on the right of the student center or on the left. So let me just take the right, because I believe I have something to show you. And enjoy the sunset of Kampala. That's it. I know my camera will do not justice, because I'm using standard dynamic range, which really suffers shifting between bright and dark at all time. So let's slope right down. I find this bit weird that it is slanted. Usually the urge would be to make it horizontal, step it, but that choice is interesting. Okay. So the student center is a 2001 enterprise. To the glory of God, this foundation was led by His Excellency Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, President of the Republic of Uganda. So actually, gracing ceremonies is a thing he has been doing for quite a while. So lately I see him doing it a lot. I thought it was just not serious. And there's a restaurant here, which today I think is closed, and some people fabricating a few items. I do not know whether I'm very audible enough, but it's very interesting. I thought that music was coming from afar, but I think they are restoring music systems. Anyway, church is usually synonymous with loud music. I didn't know these guys were going to do a football turf here. It's one of the strangest projects one would even ever have imagined. Okay, interesting. I'm not a fan of artificial turf because it doesn't allow for sliding, but yes, it's a bit interesting. So we are back onto Mary Stuart Road, and the one that is sloping down, which I'm not going to use, let me just get you the name in just a bit. I do not know much about it, but it's okay. This Kasubi West Link Road, it joins to the West Road, basically demarcating the western parts of the MAKERERE University. Now, lo and behold, the mighty Lumumba Hall. I told you this journey is going to be interesting, and by the way, MAKERERE is not a premier university by mistake. Trust me, infrastructure is well done, and lately landscaping to me is very unbelievable. But you need to know that this hall was renovated. So basically, Lumumba Hall opened up in 1971, and is the largest male hall. It is actually named after Patrice Lumumba, and I believe you might have guessed that. A bit of Patrice Lumumba, he was actually the first prime minister of the Democratic Republic of Congo. I think at the time it was called Zaire, and that is Lumumba for you. Yeah, it is beautiful. I like the clay bricks, clay tiles, and just amazing. A mix of concrete work and masonry. Anyway, their symbol is Gongom, the monument. But Gongom was more of a sculpture. But they mostly relate with the elephant, and you can see the sculpture of the elephant. Right now, it is housing female students who have long gone for holidays and are not around here. But that said, let's continue our journey until we shall reach the main gate. And this is just to introduce the year that is 2026 to you in a special video. More new infrastructure. My only prayer, it's unfortunate that they have not gone very high. I expect them to do structures higher than the one I see in front. This guy is kind of squatting on all property, but I suppose as numbers and demand for education grows, there are fewer and fewer spaces for student education. So I see College of Engineering, Design, Art and Technology, which we left right at the beginning of Mary Stuart Road, Department of Urban and Regional Planning. Maybe someday to grow to accommodate them. And this is unofficially the Loombox Square, basically Lumumba, which was the male hall, and Mary Stuart, which is referred to as Box, have a solidarity where they kind of associate together. It's one of the things that kind of brings social life at campus together. I am just a bit sad that this structure hasn't gone like 10 floors high to minimize the need to use horizontal spaces, because if older structures like Lumumba and I now unveil Mary Stuart, who were built to 3 to 4 floors back in the 50s and 70s, then such a building should even be doing 10 floors to cater for the new century. But Makerere celebrated 100 years of existence. This wasn't occupied last academic year because it was under renovation. So let me officially, it was reoccupied last academic year. Actually, yeah, it wasn't occupied last academic year because this academic year is still ongoing. The first semester has ended, people are in holidays, and this is the beauty of it. So just a bit of Mary Stuart before we proceed. Let's also enjoy the sunset. This was completed in 1953. I like to think the building with tiles because the one behind looks like Israeli architecture, similar to the College or Faculty of Engineering that we left behind, which you didn't see, whose concrete work is synonymous with that. But due to the rectangular shape that this hall had, it was then nicknamed Box, and it was the first female hall of residence. Major renovations was completed in 2025, modernizing the facility. I've been inside. There's nothing like modernizing. All was done was paint work and a little plumbing here and there, which is a disgrace. I expected it to now have smart rooms, smart study centers and all of that, but maybe someday there will be proper planning for the university. Yeah, Mary Stuart for you. Mary Stuart for you. It looks like fiber internet is approaching Makerere University. I wonder which company this is. But yeah, I think let me cross over. I feel like I should show you the structure. It's a wooden cabin that always catches my attention. But you can see in bold right there, counseling and guidance center, nurturing individual growth and psychological well-being. So the counseling and guidance center, though its service began as a voluntary act in the 70s, the center officially was recognized in 1987. It moved to its recognized someone just dismantled this, but that is a move that made it more recognized. There are sculptures, interesting, but I'm mostly interested in the wooden cabin. So anyway, it moved here in 2012, and yep, more of Mary Stuart. I see more of residential flats. This one looks like one that we saw towards University Hall as you approach the small gate, which is a bit interesting. See a little more work happening here, but I think those staff quarters will also need renovation. The problem is if they at least would allow people to renovate them and get refunded. Oh, there's more wooden cabins. I don't know what they served. I count 1, 2, 3. I don't know whether they were residences. I don't know. Okay. So this is that. And in front we are approaching the College or School of Education, but down there, Makerere College School. More of that some other day. But School of Education, basically, I think, as you know, education is one of those courses that began as early as 1925, and that is self-explanatory, because if you're going to teach another course, then education has to be among the first. The school has since evolved through various reforms, becoming a cornerstone for training Africa's post-independence educators. Yeah, so that's the School of Education. Interesting. There you see, East African School of Higher Education Studies and Development. Interesting that they consider themselves to having a responsibility to the university. This is Tennis Road. Doesn't make sense because the tennis court is accessed from University Road, but at the end of this road, I'll show you the tennis court. Now that is the sign of School of Education. So that's the kind of infrastructure we had. The building in the distance, I don't know whether it was the initial School of Education. Probably it might have been the initial main building of the university, because it has a clock on top of it. But I'll dig that history and bring it to you. More staff quarter. I no longer see this nowadays. There's less and less accommodation of staff happening within the university, but I kind of think it was a really important move by the colonial government. I don't know whether they did it because they really expected to stay around for long and were disappointed, but they built things with one hand. Interesting trees harboring the marabou stock. I don't know what species this is, and if you do know it, please do let me know. And that structure right down there are one of the oldest structures, plus the ones in front there, that Makerere University was in the independence years, sorry, in the pre-independence years. Quarry Road. We are soon reaching the main gate, but this is not Quarry Road. This is actually Tennis Court Road. Yep. Let me just catch my breath. I think you can now start getting a glimpse of the city, but Makerere is not short of trees, or is it short of lawns? Resting place. It actually has a population that is estimated at 40,000 students. Quite huge, quite huge. Though they also have the land mass to accommodate that, and that's why I felt they should be doing structures much taller than just 4 floors. Actually 3 floors, if I don't count the ground as a floor. It would be really proper use of space. Anyway, if you see anything interesting, let me know. Let me know. And just include it in the comment section. I will be very glad to add what I have to add onto. This is actually a school of psychology. Most of the guys doing masters come and study from there. It's a part of social sciences, which you'll find a little story about on one of our previous videos, the Africa's Harvard. So I'm going to attach it here in the corner of the video. Anyway, Tennis Court Road basically splits the tennis court, which you see there in the mesh. I see 1 or 2 people playing tennis right there inside, and complex hall. So let me just call this complex hall. In most cases, complex hall has a unique history. It was formed by merging Center of Continuing Education, CCE, and Old Mitchell Hall. Because of its roots in Old Mitchell, students share solidarity with the current Mitchell Hall, which is on the other side. And the building you're seeing, behind which you'll find Mitchell Hall, that's the College of Computing and Information Sciences. I think, okay, that's how they call it, but they deal with computer software engineering and all that. Anyway, yeah. So this road, Tennis Court Road, passes the university sports facility, reflecting Makerere's long tradition of balancing academics with sports, which dates back in the 1930s, when the first sport field were cleared. It was the other side behind Mary Stuart. That's where the main grounds are. But anyway, this is I would call it the main roundabout, since it comes from the main gate and joins University Road, Pool Road, and then Tennis Court Road. So in case you reach the main gate, you can find yourself navigating around quite easily. And probably let me just show you a bit of this, which is a bit interesting. Maybe it will help guide you when you come down from the main gate. Then you'll find yourself coming to this. This needs change. It was put when the university was turning the century in 2022. So it begins from up and says MAKERERE University since 1922. Administrative units, main building, go right through. Main library, go right through. Senate, go right through. And then academic units come down. College of Agriculture, go right through. College of Computing and Information Science, go right through. College of Humanities, go right through. College of Education, take the left, basically Tennis Court Road. And that's roughly will get you places. Halls of residence, Mary Stuart, use the Tennis Court Road. Mitchell Hall, use the Swimming Pool Road. And now then down it just talks about parking, fee payment areas. But yeah, so that's MAKERERE University, premier university in Africa, considered the Harvard of Africa. And in case you like more of these videos, check out the one I did, which is titled Africa's Harvard. I'll leave it in the description right below. But this is a great place to be. It's a great place to be. And I'm going to exit through the main gate, which is right down there. And it's already 6 p.m. Time does indeed fly. So let's meet in subsequent videos and see you. It will be a great delight to see you around. And yeah, it's paid parking, hence the barricade. So let's go on ahead. And I think I'm tempted to do a thumbnail in front of here to just show you the main entrance of the university. The people are coming to take pictures, and these are youngsters, which is beautiful. Oh, that is the Muslim Community Religious Center. I don't know whether it came later. Now, this is the entrance of the university. Right there. Welcome to Africa's premier university, MAKERERE University. If you know the meaning of premier, you catch my drift. Anyway, thanks for watching, and see you again. And watch the videos in the description.